most of these DJs don't even need to call themselves a DJ. You know what they need to call themselves, MD?
What's that?
They need to call themselves record players.
Ooh.
Because all they doing, stick a quarter in a machine,
Woo.
and I'll play you a tune.
Mm.
Well, I guess now I'll play you part of a tune because they ain't even playing half the record or the whole record no more. DJs don't know how to mix. DJs don't know how to scratch. So that's a lost art in itself, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, as you know, I've been talking about Coastal Spotlight. We the new podcast show on the scene, but what we do, you think we've done it for a long time. And truth is, we have done it for a long time. But I have a special guest. I have a very special guest. And I'm going to introduce him like I introduce him when we anywhere on stage or off stage or wherever I'm at or wherever he's at. When I see my brother from another mother, you're going to always know MD Redmon going to do it like this.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the ridiculous DJ Sgt Rock. What a rock.
Man, look, you know I still got that promo right. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Okay. What's good, man? You know what I'm saying? I'm just lounging. I'm just cooling, you know, ready to get this interview on the way. You know what I'm saying? So let's get it on.
We're going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into it.
Yeah.
As you see in visual world, he got the hat on, DJ Sgt Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My daughter even asked me this question, so I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
She said, Daddy, where did he get the name Sgt Rock from? I know he's a DJ, but where does Sgt Rock, how was it created?
All right. I think I was 12, 13, and I always bounced from my grandmother's house to my great-grandmother's house because they lived next door to each other. You know what I'm saying? So I had some cousins that lived with my grandmother.
Mm.
And I was, you know, rummaging around, doing what I do, you know what I'm saying? And I snuck up in my cousin's room. And he used to collect comic books. He was a real comic book head, you know what I'm saying? And basically, I just broke out the box of comics and I started looking at them. You know what I'm saying? I you know, these are comics. So I wasn't really into comics. So I started fumbling through the magazines and I came across this promo. And this promo was a man in army fatigues with the bullets wrapped around him. And he was running like he was bursting out of the magazine paper. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it had Sgt Rock at the top. And I said, DJ Sgt Rock. Now, truth be told, back in the days, a lot of hip-hop artists that are known as hip-hop artists got their name pretty much from comic books because we was always considered superheroes.
That's right.
Or we always wanted to be superheroes.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I figured DJ Sgt Rock, that fit me. You know, I was always about music. I was always about good, positive energy. And that name kind of stuck. Then I came up with an acronym for it.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know, I always abbreviate the SGT.
That's
so
right.
For anybody out there, do not spell my name with the whole sergeant. I do not spell my name like that. I spell my name SGT. And I came up with an acronym, and what that stands for is suckers get terminated by the Rock. You know what I'm talking about? So that's how I got the name DJ Sgt Rock.
Yes,
you know
indeed. I'm glad you broke that down for us, Sgt Rock. and the acronym is strong, especially in the hip hop game, where you had to be that superhero. You had to be a little comical. You had to be,
Right.
original with anything you came up with, and you never had a problem of being creative. One thing that y'all don't know that I know, this guy's a reader. He was one of the first brothers in my neighborhood I seen. If put it like this, back in the day, grocery stores used to have a magazine section. They don't have them no more.
Right. Right.
They're very
Right.
limited. You
Right.
probably can get a magazine when you checking out, but that's it. But they had a whole section of books, magazines. I can go in the store, ladies and gentlemen, and shop, and Sgt Rock could be there the whole time, going through the magazine, reading it word for word, just collecting data. What got you interested in reading those different magazines?
Well, first, what got me interested was this was before I became a DJ.
Right.
I used to always read album covers. That's where that came from. I used to always read the front. I used to always read the back. I wanted to know who was responsible for this, who was responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to know. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like they put that information out there for people to know. You know what I'm saying? This is the executive producer of this. This is the music producer of this. This is the arranger of this. This is the director. And I just soaked all that in, and I started knowing labels. You know what I'm saying? That just kind of stuck with me. That was during my DJing. That was before I became a DJ. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I used to always read the labels.
Absolutely.
8 tracks, when cassettes came in, of course, but I was always reading the labels and where this record come from, where that record come from, So, yeah.
And reading labels and just reading, period, helped you develop a great way to conversate with your peers and conversate with older people and elderly people. You had a very high intellect, and from elementary, when I first met you in the 5th grade, your intellect was very high.
Right.
And that came from a lot of reading, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And also a lot of music. Like, we come from the days where, I lived in the projects. I grew up in the projects. I come from the days where every house or every other house had a sound system in it. Every other house had a sound system. This one would be knocking PVs with realistic, and this one over here is knocking Yorks with a whole bunch of stuff mixed up. This one over here is knocking Radio Shack. You know what I'm saying? So, I come from the days where music was always around.
Right.
Because everybody's household had a system in it. I remember one system that my cousin, Lil Larry, aka Shorty Q, his stepdaddy had a power system.
Whoa.
JVC.
Whoa.
And that was the first time I've ever seen a JVC in the hood. I'm like, man, this is beginning to get major. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, that's just where we come from. And, now it's, all digital, but that's neither here nor there, but that's just the days that we come from.
Right.
I grew up in a household where, music was pretty much, if it wasn't first, it was second.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So, just like that.
Absolutely. So, being a DJ, a well-rounded DJ, you always want to know what made them well-rounded. And like I said, this guy was a reader. His vocabulary, his intellect was just off the charts. Now we're going to get into why I brag on you being a musician. MD, you're always bragging on Sgt Rock as a musician. We don't know him as a musician. We know him as a DJ / rapper. So now we're going to get into your musicianship so they'll know what I mean.
Right.
That. What age was you, Sergeant Rock, when you decided, you know what, I want to play the piano?
About 7 years old.
Woo!
Yeah. I tell anybody I'm a musician first.
Right.
You know, I'm a DJ second.
Right.
You know, they look at me like I'm crazy, but those were the people that, you know, don't go to church or is not familiar with church business. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to learn more outside of the church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I fell in love with hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And my grandmother, God rest her soul, she wanted me to, you know, just do the church thing. You know,
Right.
if you do this, you'll go a long way, and, you know, whoop-de-whoop. But I thank her for that, because she gave me one to grow on. Because music has taken me a long way.
Yeah.
Music has got me in spots that other people can't get in.
You better believe it.
You know what I'm saying? And not just DJing, but playing for the church. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a musician before I'm anything else. And I take pride in that. You know, the same way that I reinforce what I do musically, I put with the hip hop. And I use it that way.
That's right. So
if I'm in front of a choir and I'm directing this choir, and this choir is supposed to sing, I'm going to make them sing.
That's right.
So that's just like rap. Okay, if I got this beat, I'm finna make you rap.
That's right.
Simple.
That's right. You got to direct, because you bringing out the best.
Right.
You bringing out the best in that individual or in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely a perfectionist, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a perfectionist. I want to tap into childhood. You know, in childhood, I was a part of your childhood.
Yeah.
You know, and it was beautiful. Beautiful. Those was the glory days.
Right.
Me and this guy got in a lot of trouble together. As a child going into a teenager, into adult, a lot of your peers don't understand you as a person, what you do, your outbursts, your cries, your sad moments, your happy moments. Why you think they never understood you thoroughly as a person?
I don't know. I guess I was just always different. You know, I didn't go for what the average, you know, person went for. You know what I'm saying? I was always different. I was really a loner growing up. Now that I think about it, I spent more time in my bedroom doing music and, you know, miscellaneous other things. I spent more time in my bedroom than I ever did outside. You know, I think it got up to the point to where I was, 16, 17, and then I started getting out. But I was always a homebody.
Right.
And then I was always around music. And as long as I had some music around me, I could get up and turn it on whenever I get ready. Man, I was in hog heaven.
Absolutely. Anybody that grew up with Sergeant Rock know he stayed in that room from sunset to sundown.
I'm talking about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, my grandma busting the door down. All right, cut this loud noise off and go to sleep. Yeah, those were the good old days.
Good
man.
old days.
Yeah.
In that room perfecting your craft, because before the world knew DJ Sgt Rock, they knew you as a normal kid that go to the same school, that lived in the same neighborhood.
Right.
You know. And then one day when you did decide to come out that room and hit your first club as a DJ, what was that club?
Let me see. The first club that I actually DJ'd in, it was, yeah, it was the Terrace Lounge,
Woo!
the old A&B club. Yeah, I remember that night because old boy, I forget his name, but he came to get me. We packed all my crates in his car, and he brought me to the club. They gonna trip when they hear this. DJ Dynamite
Mm-hmm.
and CJ the DJ was in there DJing, and I'm young. I'm not even legal. I'm not
Right.
even supposed to be in the club.
Right.
But after a while, it got to the point to where I was just sitting there, drinking Sprite. And, I ain't doing nothing. So the owner came back there. He said, "Hey, what is this man doing sitting down?" And then, Dynamite couldn't answer him. He was like, "I ain't bring this man. I ain't go all the way to Biloxi to get this man for him to sit down. Let him DJ." And DJ Dynamite got off the Wheels of Steel. And then when I got on the Wheels of Steel, that was it. Now, that was the Gulfport side. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Biloxi side, I can say everything started for me at the Blue Note. The Blue Note was just a legendary club. The Blue Note was legendary before we got out there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about everybody, regardless if they was coming from Keesler Air Force Base or whatever they was coming from, they knew when they get to Biloxi to go to the Blue Note. And the Blue Note held such a high atmosphere in the club because it was all about a party. You can go and party at the Blue Note, and you could party all night long. All night long.
The Blue Note.
I'm talking about, man, look, we just had a Blue Note reunion a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And I'm talking about, it was just a beautiful thing to see all the old schools kicking it together. I was so elated at the turnout. I was like, wow, this is major. You know what I'm saying?
Truly amazing.
So everything for me pretty much started at the Blue Note. But the Blue Note was not the first club that I DJ'd in. The first club I DJ'd in was the Terrace Lounge, the old A&B Lounge.
That's what's up. Well, speaking of the Blue Note, I go there at 10. By 12, I had to go home and change clothes. I sweated out the first outfit. I had to go home and change clothes.
Yeah.
That's how much dancing everybody did.
Right.
Back in
Right.
those days, it
Right.
was all about dancing.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
and I really studied the art of dancing back in those days.
Right.
I really
Right.
did, to dance on a woman, which they don't do no more. And as a DJ, when you see people basically on their phone now more than a man and woman dancing together, giving that love vibration off each other, does that discourage you? From the day you started, it was all about, that couple dancing on the floor, and now it's everybody on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook. They dance with their phone instead of dancing with the,
I mean, true enough, we've lost that connection. I think more or less it's due to social media.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's so stuck being on their phone. They don't have time to dance. They don't have time to socialize. They it's all about your phone. It's all about your phone. It's all about your phone. But I do think that we have lost that connection. I think back in the day when it wasn't Snapchat, when it wasn't Twitter, when it wasn't Facebook, when it wasn't Instagram, you had to feel more. You know what I'm saying? and I think social media took the feeling out of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So
that's strong.
You know, true enough. I mean, you have some people that, you know, okay, I like to dance, but they still dancing by themselves.
Right.
They not dancing with a dude, or the dude is not dancing with a girl. You know, these brothers, they act so hard. You know, they come in the club with they saggy pants and, you know, all that, and they act so hard, and they stand up against the wall, and they got their arms folded like something's about to pop off, and when nothing don't pop off, they create something to pop off, and that's not what the club was designed for. The club was designed for you to be social, and have a good time, and while you at it, have a couple of drinks in the process. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes for you to unwind, that's what the club is for. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all heard that, ladies and gentlemen. To clubs up today and club owners up today, that's what it was designed for you to have a good time and
Right.
relieve stress from the week. You came in there and had a great time, might meet a great person while you're in there.
Right.
Yeah, and so, you know, the elements of the club is definitely different, you know, because me and you both are still in the club scene.
Right.
But I think we just go now, and that old essence, that old rare love and commitment of having a great time.
Yeah.
You think those days are over?
No, I think as the old generation goes out, the new generation comes in, and I think they're gonna make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be, whatever they may come across, they're gonna make it do what it do.
Right.
You know, do I believe that there is a generation gap? Yes, I do. I think there's a big generation gap. I think too many older people are trying to control the young people.
Okay.
And the young people ain't going for it.
That's right.
So, you know, when you got your own mind and your own sound and your own body, you tend to do things different. And a lot of times people tend to look at you like you crazy. They tend to look at you like you funny.
Right.
But you know what you doing. So, you know, stick to it. Stick to your guns. You know, go with your gut. You know, follow your first mind. You know, just do it. You know, just do it.
That's right. Just do it. I absolutely agree. Just to do it. That's a great way of putting your insight on that. Just do it. Just do it and keep doing it. Now, let me ask you this. You know, you come from the days of turntables and a mixer. Turntables, of course, have the needle. The science of mixing and scratching, those are your days. That's how you was raised in the hip-hop game. And it made you scientifically learn your craft. Now, nothing against the DJs of today, but the word DJ is being...
I mean, they garbage. Just go on, come out and say it. They suck.
Right. Yeah.
It's garbage.
I want you to touch on that. How you feel about the buttons? We in the button age.
You know what? I would feel better about the buttons being there if it was a way that, see, everything has a manipulation process. You know what I'm saying? You know, this gets manipulated into this, gets manipulated into that, gets manipulated into this. So everything has a manipulation process, and what they did, they took the turntable and reinforced it to CDJs, and then now they're reinforcing it to the controllers. Now, I don't have nothing against the controllers, but they're not turntables. They're not real turntables. They can't give you the feel of a real turntable. Right. They can't get the mixing board in the middle. It can't give you the flex like you would flex on a real live turntable and mixer. You know what I'm saying? It's just compact, and it's easier to tote. Back in the days, we used to tote crates. We don't have to tote crates no more.
Mm-hmm.
You tote hard drives.
Wow.
You got a computer.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was pretty much designed for instant DJ. Pretty much. On the spot instant DJ.
That's right.
Everything is so microwave. It's not real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And technology, and look, let me tell you something else. For the most part, I don't like technology because of the way it sounds. You got too many highs. The highs are too bright. Not enough bass. It's like they took some of the bass out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which with analog, you got warm bass, you got crisp highs, and you can hear the mid-range. With this new digital, you can't hear none of that. You can't feel none of that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I come from the analog days. I know they transferring everything to digital, but I come from the analog days. I come from the days where you put a record on the turntable, put the needle on the record, and just go. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah. So they got it easy. This generation got it easy, but I still think they use the word DJ too loosely.
Look, let me tell you something. Now, most of these DJs don't even need to call themselves a DJ. You know what they need to call themselves, MD?
What's that?
They need to call themselves record players.
Ooh.
Because all they doing, stick a quarter in a machine, and I'll play you a tune. Well, I guess now I'll play you part of a tune because they ain't even playing half the record or the whole record no more. DJs don't know how to mix. DJs don't know how to scratch. So that's a lost art in itself.
Right.
I think if every DJ would just put them controllers down, get off them buttons for a minute, and learn how to manipulate real turntables, then they will understand what it means to do all that. I truly believe the DJing phase is gonna come back, and it's gonna come back even harder. But I don't think the DJ phase is gonna come back with the digital because they doing too much to it. It's gotten to the point now they done everything that they could possibly do.
That's
to
right.
the turntable, to the controller, to the pitch lock and the sync buttons, and they done everything that they could possibly do. So what's next? Real hip hop to come back.
Real
turntables, real needles.
Right.
Okay, even if a person has real turntables and they use the Serato or whatever type of computer program that they use, that's fine as long as you got real turntables.
Right.
And I'm telling you, you put a lot of these DJs on real turntables now, and they wouldn't know what to do.
Yes, the lost park, the lost park of the DJs, not Jurassic Park, but the lost park of the DJs.
They wouldn't know what to do. They'll be clueless.
Clueless, man.
Give them technology, they all right, because they could get away with murder.
Yeah, bragging on how good they are, but they not really that good.
They could get away with murder. So I like a few of the DJs now. I ain't gonna lie, they all right.
Yeah.
But that's all they are to me. They all right.
They all right.
They ain't coming with no flex game. They ain't coming with no wrist game. You know what I'm saying? The dope boys used to say back in the days, you gotta make your wrist work. You gotta have that wrist game. You gotta know how to make it lock. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what I do on the Wheels of Steel. I mix up ingredients, and I try to come out with the best possible music possible. And then times change. We went from hip hop to the 90s,
right,
to heavily samples and all that, and then all of a sudden we got into this trap shit or trap business. I'm sorry. And it's saturating the market right now, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very saturated. Very.
But that's neither here nor there. But just like I said, we have a big generation gap.
We do.
In the music, as well as the older generation versus the younger generation.
Definitely
and I think the younger generation doesn't want to be told what to do, so you can't tell them.
Right.
You gotta let them go out there and butt their head for themselves.
Got to.
And then if they come back and ask for some advice or some guidance here and there, then you give it to them. But that's the time we in now.
Absolutely. DJ Sgt Rock dropping pure knowledge and science on the art of DJing.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy here, when he say hip hop, I've never seen someone that love hip hop like this guy here.
Yeah.
This guy loves hip hop. What developed that love?
I think it was when I first seen the video for the Sugar Hill Gang Rappers Delight. And something stuck in me. Now, keep in mind, I was always intrigued by wanting to become a DJ by listening to the old radio stations that we used to have back in the day. WAIL was infamous for mixing live on the radio, and I always wanted to learn, what they did. How are they doing this? So, by me wanting to become a DJ at an early age, that gave me the knowledge of records. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now I got the knowledge of records, but what can I do with this? And by this time, hip hop was just starting.
That's right.
They talk about the birth of hip hop, and it was just starting. And I seen the video of the Sugar Hill Gang at the Fun Factory, and I was just amazed. I was like, what type of music is this? Like, this is about to take over the world.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I seen the video. I was like, this music is finna take off. What is this? And then I went to work. I got down. I studied records. I studied hip hop, where it came from. The lower southeast Bronx in New York is credited for it, but it originally started in Queens and Brooklyn, because they have a period where it was a time before hip hop just started. The Bronx brought it to the world. So the Bronx is responsible for bringing hip hop to the world. But there's always a trial period. There's always something going on way before anybody is thinking about this. There's always, these cats were doing it. And I'm talking about they were doing it on the block. They were doing it in the park. They were doing it on the street corners. Massive sound systems everywhere. And everybody trying to outbeat each other for the best sound system. It wasn't until the best DJ came along, till Grandmaster Flash and all that. So it wasn't a big argument on who the best DJ was. It was if your sound system was rocking.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? So, that's just the days we come from. We come from the days where we had the grassroots and do this. We had to tote amps. We had to tote speakers. We had to tote crates. We had to do all that.
Right.
We had to do all that.
All of
And we did it. We did it.
Yes, indeed. And still doing it to this day.
We did it.
We taking up for hip hop. We love hip hop.
Yeah.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, here on Coastal Spotlight.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm going to let you know who he is one more time. It's the ridiculous DJ Sgt Rock.
Yeah,
We
DJ
outta
Sgt Rock broadcasting live via satellite from up under the ground. You're under dig, trill.
I want to thank y'all once again for tuning in to Coastal Spotlight. You made it to the end of another episode. I appreciate that. And we appreciate that here at Coastal Spotlight. And we also want to thank the Sugar Factory inside Hard Rock, Biloxi. That's right, Sugar Factory have great food and fantastic drinks. In front of me, I have two of my favorite drinks. sour apple lolly, caramel macchiato martini. You can only find these drinks at Sugar Factory. Thank you and good night.